Hi, ladies. Thank you for being online. Just wondering before I get started, can you guys hear me okay? All you need to do is drop it in the chat, unmute yourself, whatever's easiest, but anybody online, can you hear me? Yes, perfect. Thank you. Just making sure. Okay. Good morning. All righty. So we're going to go ahead and get started today, guys. I do apologize. We are a smidge behind schedule just because it is technically 9:32. So we're going to go ahead and jump start into everything. There is one additional thing I may show you guys at the end here if things are going to cooperate for me. I did forget to close out of this screen on my own computer though. So normally it doesn't like me to log in on two different computers in the office. So we'll see what that looks like in a minute here. But to get us started, we are actually just going to take a look at kwbresources.com. So for those of you who obviously recall from our meeting, this is going to be our office website. So we're just going to take a look at everything here together. The biggest thing I always tell you guys is I do talk fairly fast. So if at any point you need me to slow down or you would like to stop and ask a quick question, you're welcome to do so. I'll do my best to kind of keep an eye on the chat there for anybody online as well. But hopefully we can get everything answered and this will leave you guys feeling like you've got a bit more clarity on where to find different resources. So to get started, we are actually going to take a look at the new agent tab under kwbresources.com. If you were to select the new agent button there, it will take you to some kind of cumulative information that we found is a little bit more relevant again for you guys as new agents. So under this left-hand getting started option, you will be able to open up to a PDF checklist that actually just overviews our onboarding here. So for everybody actually, I believe here today in person and online, you guys are all the way through your onboarding process. So congratulations. Some of you may still owe me a couple documents of those supplemental documents I request, but that may be the only thing we're still waiting on. But just as a general rule of thumb, this helps to really highlight what onboarding is intended to look like. But since we're all through it, I just wanted to point out at the bottom here, some of those things you can begin doing immediately. So the first is that we're going to look at KWB resources together. We're going to take a look at the office calendar as well as part of that, but participating in those office meetings you see on the calendar is always a great way to plug in. Talking about joining Ignite, which actually launches again tomorrow at 9 a.m. So for those of you who are interested and able, we would love to have you here in the room with us, 9 a.m. in person. And then also joining our Facebook pages. So we'll take a look at a couple key Facebook pages in just a moment that we will recommend you join as part of your initial kind of welcome to KW Valentine. On the right-hand side, now that we are back at that new agent tab, we are actually going to just go back to the basic training side here and select the learn more option beneath that. Under basic training, if you were to select that option, it does take you to Scott Leroy Marketing's website, which for those of you who can recall, this is who set up your KW technology initially. So they got you your email address, your website, all of that great information. Anybody who's on this call that does not know what their KW email is, please let me know. All of you should have received that information by now. And that is going to be, again, just to reiterate, your primary contact for us. So make sure if you have not yet logged into your KW email, you go ahead and do that at your earliest convenience because there's tons of great information waiting for you. But when we arrive at Scott Leroy Marketing's YouTube or their website, the biggest thing to point out is that they are a continued partner and resource for you. They do not just do your setup and then leave the picture. They are here to assist you guys and be a supplemental resource for your KW technology training. So since we happen to be right here where we can see that lovely search bar on the right-hand side, I do always point out to you guys that you can search very easily on their website for anything and everything that they have to offer. But as a great example, if you search QR code, for those of you who know what a QR code is, sometimes we know what they are, but not how to make them. And that does seem to be a fairly useful tool that I've noticed lots of people implementing into print marketing. So that's a great thing that you guys can also utilize. But if you don't know how to make one, all you have to do is type in QR code here in the search bar, and it will actually generate a QR generator. It's as simple as just including a little bit of key information, ideally who you are, what your email address is, and the website that you're trying to tie the QR code to. And Scott Leroy Marketing will create one for you for free. and get it back to you within the hour, and usually on the much earlier side of that hour. So keep an eye out for that as a resource, and know that if you need a QR code, Scott Leroy Marketing can happily help. The other couple things I point out on this webpage, again, because we could spend a whole hour, I believe, just here, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to focus more on the KWB side of things, and you guys can explore this freely on your own. But agent resources at the top here, this tab is actually going to be a button before it becomes a drop-down menu. So you're going to select the agent resources tab at the top. It's going to then ask you to type in your market center number. If you do not remember what ours is, it is 350. You're going to see that number quite often. When you log in, now you'll see that there will be a drop-down arrow to the right here of the Agent Resources tab. So we now have access to a bunch of menu items. Ideally, what we're going to take a look at today is this training option and then training calendar. So please know that Scott Leroy Marketing does offer a training calendar as well, in addition to what we offer as your firm. And they are running tech trainings from 1 to 2 o'clock through Zoom, Monday through Friday. So if you guys have a more complicated schedule and it may be a little tedious for you to make the Tuesday and Thursday tech training options in this office work well for you, you're more than welcome to plug in through virtual trainings with Scott Leroy Marketing. The other thing I always mention as well is you can see what their topics will be, and sometimes they're going to be talking about something that Jules and Leah may not be talking about for the week. So in the event that you guys ever need to kind of get a little bit more information on a particular topic, and it is not something Jules and Leah will be focusing on, use this as a tool as well. If Scott Leroy Marketing is talking about that particular field, you definitely want to make sure you're plugging in so that you can get all the insight that you need. But again, this is just the Scott Leroy Marketing training calendar. By clicking on any of those events, you can access the Zoom link to jump directly into that training. So it is a helpful tool for you if you have a more complicated schedule. The other thing I'm going to share with you from Scott Leroy Marketing's website is showing you under store over here. If you select store, this is where you guys can access agentstore.com. So agentstore.com is where I highly recommend many of you go for your business cards. That's one of the most common questions I think I get from new agents. And the unfortunate thing is that we do not provide them as part of your onboarding, but you guys can easily access some pre-done templates for Keller Williams that are really easy to maneuver and manipulate to become custom. And then you also have the wonderful feature of a partnership with Scott Leroy Marketing that offers you guys a great price point. So if you are looking to order your business cards and maybe creativity is not your first inclination, you guys can always come back to the pre-done templates of business cards available. All you have to do is select that business card option. You can tell them that you work with Keller Williams, and then you can find our market center number or Ballantine in the drop-down menu, and then it should have some of our information actually autofill for you. So really all you have to do is drop in your own contact information. And again, obviously you guys are welcome to use Canva or Vistaprint to create something truly creative and unique to your business. But some of us, I know we're just looking for that quick and easy button. I just want to get the business card already. So if this speaks to you, please take advantage of it. The biggest thing that I always point out when conversing about business cards is that you will need to consult with our BIC associate, Tasha Viney, to get approval on your business card design if you are a provisional broker. So if you've not yet completed your post licensing, you need to make sure you are consulting with Tasha to get approval on your business card design before you print it out. And the reason for that is not to inconvenience you. It is to save you guys from printing and spending money on something that you may not be able to use for legal reasons. So keep her in mind. I will share her contact information with you shortly. Obviously, broker status, you guys have a little bit more flexibility than a standard provisional broker. So if you guys need to consult with Tasha for anything, I would still recommend doing it. She's more than happy to take a look at anything just to make sure you're in good standing. But this is going to be a very helpful tool when ordering business cards. As you can see, they also offer name tags. So feel free to order some of those as well. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Perfect. Thank you, ladies. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Okay. So I'm going to take us back to where we started to get to Scott Leroy Marketing's YouTube channel, or YouTube channel, I'm going to say that the whole day, their website, which is the right-hand button here under basic training. So obviously you guys are welcome to explore Scott Leroy's website as well and find all the other useful resources available, but we're going to keep taking a look at our resources. So what you'll see here is a quick list of Facebook pages. The top two are going to be the most active Facebook pages I'd recommend you join. The top is going to be an internal Facebook page for just our Keller Williams Ballantine agents. So it's just our agents, all 500 of you, and then our leadership team. This way we can communicate with you guys effectively about upcoming trainings and events or opportunities. And then you guys can communicate amongst yourselves because as you can see, we don't have 500 people crammed into this room. So sometimes it's easier to communicate on a broad spectrum very easily through social media. And this is a private Facebook group where you guys can ask questions like that. You'll see people all the time asking for referral partner suggestions for particular areas. If anyone maybe knows a vendor that could service a certain area locally that you guys are having trouble to find a vendor, you'll see other agents are asking for assistance with open houses, asking assistance for showings as well. So just know that this is a great way for you guys to get plugged in with other agents, start building some of those relationships, and to get answers to your question that help you get your foot in the door. So great way for you guys to communicate with other agents. We also have access to our vendor Facebook group. So very similar in concept. It's a private group. It's just the agents. It's still our leadership team, but this also includes our vendor partners because here at KW Ballantine, we do have a vendor program, and all of these amazing vendors have actually been vetted by other Keller Williams Ballantine agents. So you guys know you're working with someone that you can trust, and they are constantly talking on this particular Facebook group about upcoming promotions they're offering, any special deals, if they are offering new services. So it's a great way for you guys to connect with some of our vendors as well to get to know a little bit more about them and their businesses. Underneath here, you'll also see access to the Charlotte Area Realtor Network, which obviously is going to be all Charlotte area realtors. And then also the KW Carolinas region, which is going to plug you in with other KW agents in the Carolinas. I know, profound, right? Not what you'd expect. So it's going to connect you with other agents in the Carolinas within Keller Williams. So it's a great way, again, for you guys to network and build your webs pretty wide for referral partners if you ever need to. But this is a great tool for you to get connected with them. As we scroll a little bit further down, we do come across Kellerisms. We will not actually dive into Kellerisms today, but if you were to click on that, just like the first thing we looked at, it's going to open up a PDF handout, and it's actually just going to break down all the terminology that's used within Keller Williams. Because I think what you'll find is that there's some terms that you might not be as familiar with because it seems exclusive to our firm, and that is very true. Terms like capping, I know some people already know what that is, but 145, that one's a little bit more obscure. So if you guys are ever wondering what some of that terminology means, but you don't necessarily want to have to ask the question out loud, this is a reference guide for you guys to kind of have a dictionary definition that puts those terms into real world terminology. We'll scroll a little bit lower. Many of you may remember answers.kw.com. This is one of the helpful resources that Scott Leroy Marketing included with all of your KW technology. So if you guys ever are experiencing any issues with your technology or just want to learn how to do something for the first time, answers.kw.com is going to be that helpful article website where you can specify what site you're looking at. And then you can also search keywords to find these articles to populate, so that you guys can get some assistance there. There's also a sister website to this called ideas.kw.com, and ideas.kw.com is actually dedicated for you guys to provide feedback and suggestions about your experiences with Command. If there's ever anything that you think you could be improved upon, they are constantly unveiling new updates and rolling those out for everybody. So you very well may see some of your feedback get implemented. So it would be very worthwhile to provide that feedback because I know that Labs is always making sure that Command is the most user-friendly platform out there. So provide any and all feedback, whether you were with a different firm or this is your first ever time working with a CRM, they would love to hear from you. We also have the Ignite materials are included here, but I can send those to you digitally. Typically speaking, just as a forewarning for everybody, because I assume many of us will be in the room for Ignite tomorrow, what I usually do is I let you guys come into that launch, hang out with Jess Peg for her 3 hour session. She'll talk about a lot of great information with you. You will pick up a few handouts tomorrow. And then what I do is I will make sure that I have everybody's who was in the room. If you guys sign in, I'll get your emails. I will send everyone a digital copy of the PDF handout for the remainder of Ignite, sessions 1 through 20, so that you guys are covered if you would like to follow along digitally. So just know that you will get that email from me tomorrow afternoon. And then also we have access to our training calendar. Something I try to point out when we're looking at our website here is that there's a bunch of different ways to pull to the same information. So this is going to be one of the more complicated ways to access our training calendar. So we're going to take a look at the easier route in a bit here. But towards the bottom, we also have access to booking conference rooms. So for conference rooms, we do have 5 different rooms available for you to use as a free resource. And you guys are able to use these for up to 2 hours at a time for any given day. Our conference rooms are, like I said, free resources available on rotation for you. The only thing I tend to mention is that we do prefer they are used for collaborative purposes, whether you're meeting with your coach, whether you are collaborating with another agent, consulting with a client, anything that usually involves more than one person. And that's just to make sure we're using the space wisely. If you guys are looking more for just a private space to work, we do have 2 focus rooms as well that are just outside this back door in the training room here. And those are going to be very small scale rooms with 1 desk. So you guys, again, can use them for 2 hours at a time. Maybe you're just looking for somewhere private to do some cold calling because you don't necessarily feel comfortable doing that in front of everybody. That's okay. You are welcome to use that room. If not, you guys are always welcome to be in the training room if there's not something else going on. You guys are also welcome to be out in the hub area just outside this door because that's another great place where you'll see lots of agents gathering. So for booking conference rooms, it's very easily done. This is going to take you to a separate website called skeda.com. When you open up on Skeda and actually create an account really quickly, it's going to ask you, or it's going to give you an overview of the spreadsheet. Across the top bar, you're going to see all of the available conference rooms and the capacity that they hold. And down the left, you're going to see all the time slots throughout the day. You'll see then and there that people have already booked the room and you can drag and drop and in any of the available space. So very helpful for you guys and something you are welcome to use as often as you'd like. Again, just trying to hold that 2 hours in a day just to make sure they're on rotation for everybody else as well. But the easiest way to schedule a conference room is underneath this More tab, guys. You'll see schedule a conference room in the middle of that drop-down menu. I'm going to take us back to our homepage. And while we're going through, so we are gonna, this first page usually takes the longest, I'll be honest. And then we start to speed up a little bit as we move forward. So just know that, again, reminding you guys who is on our leadership team here, so you know who you can reach out to about any particular question you may have. It tells you what each of us does as well as our contact information. So it's intended to make it a little easier for you to reach the right person. Underneath here, you'll see that there are 2 posted videos. These were posted by Leah, who is one of our tech coordinators. She's included these videos because she felt that they were the most commonly asked questions she was receiving. So she wanted to make sure this information was available to you whenever you needed it. So these 2 videos are very important and I would recommend you watch each of them at least once. So the very bottom actually video is the one I'd first recommend watching for you guys. This is going to be how you can link your DocuSign and your KW Command account because you will need to make sure that DocuSign has your NERDS number included. So obviously once we're all set up with Canopy, we have a NERDS number and we need to include that into our DocuSign settings. I cannot actually tell you guys where that needs to happen, so I would absolutely recommend watching this video because that will provide lots of clarity on how to go about doing that. And then above that is a video on how to submit commission requests through KW Command. So when you guys do go under contract and you are ready to get your commission check, you need to make sure that we as your firm are aware of that so that we can obviously make sure that we are prepared to process that closing for you and can keep an eye to make sure your files are ready to go. So when you submit that commission request, there's a few steps that go along with that within KW Command. Again, first time you're doing it, especially new to Command, it might be a little confusing. So we want to make sure you've got all the information you need to succeed. So watching that video will help you guys along the way when doing that the first time. So know that both of these videos are available to you all the time and can be watched whenever you need them most. I would encourage you to watch that bottom video at your earliest convenience. Get that taken care of so when you are officially working with a client, you have one less thing that you have to worry about later on. Scrolling down, we will eventually arrive at our office training calendar underneath. As you guys may remember, when we looked at the site together, by clicking office calendar at the top here, this drags you right where you want to go, makes it very easy to review all the events that are on our calendar. This is not the most legible widget, but if you click here for a full calendar view, this is going to open up really nicely and you are going to see our calendar in a much more legible way. And this is going to allow you guys to get the overview of everything going on in our office any given day of the week. All you have to do to get more information on that particular training is click right on the event itself. It will open up with event details. If the event is available as a Zoom experience in any capacity, you will see a Zoom link in those event details. If the event is in person only and it requires registration, like what we had yesterday, you'll see the whole detail and then you'll see a Sign Up Genius at the bottom. Sign Up Genius is pretty easy to use, just a couple clicks. And then if there is no registration required, like our Ignite launch tomorrow, you'll see that posted as well. So we make it pretty easy for you guys to walk away with all the information you need so that you can either be interested and then register on the spot if you need to, or you can just add it to your calendar and be prepared to be in the room. But we try to make sure that you have all the information you need to know whether or not you plan on being in attendance. But obviously, we understand that questions come up. So if you ever are wondering whether or not a training is what you are hoping it's going to be, you're welcome to reach out to me. I'm happy to give you more insight. But know that you guys are welcome to plug into anything and everything on this calendar as regularly as you would like. I always point that out because I think sometimes people come in and think that they have to go all the way through Ignite, all 20 sessions in order to be able to do the next thing. And that's not necessarily true. You guys will see that we stack our days intentionally. So Ignite takes up the first half of the day, and there may be an afternoon training of 1 hour later on. So you guys are welcome to kind of juggle and do a little bit of both throughout your time in Ignite. And then if not, you guys are always welcome to just jump into those afternoon sessions as well. Whatever works for your schedule, where you can take advantage of all the value that's offered here. So I'm going to take us back. Oh, the other thing I'm going to point out before I walk away from this is at the very bottom right, if you click this Add Google Calendar option, this is going to allow you to copy this calendar onto your calendar. So you can then turn it off and make sure that it's not going to disrupt from what's already on your calendar. Or you can put it back on so that you can actually see. So where you have availability, you might be able to decide, oh, I do actually have an hour today. I'm going to jump into that training. Just makes it a little easier so you guys don't have to always come back to KWB resources, but that is something I usually recommend for you. And know again that we got to that point by hitting click here for a full calendar view. Underneath here, we're highlighting some of the recurring meetings that you'll notice on the calendar. Our team meetings are the second and fourth Tuesday of every month where we have lots of energy. We are also having lots of fun in here and going over tons of great content. Our next team meeting for you guys will be September 10th. So next Tuesday, if you guys want to join us, it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be a special team meeting. We also have ALC meetings. Those are the third Tuesday of every month. We have an agent leadership council here at KW Valentine, and every month they get together and they work and take votes on different decisions that may or may not be implemented. And we are just getting general updates from everyone as well. So again, lots of value that's shared in those conversations. We would love for you to hear what they're discussing as well. Biggest thing though is if you choose to participate in an ALC meeting, we just ask that you be respectful and allow them to hold the floor and that you're more an observer. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see Tech Tuesdays. Tech Tuesdays are going to be wonderful resources for you guys. Every Tech Tuesday, Jules and Leah have geared their trainings more towards new agents. So keep in mind that Tuesday afternoons will be great for your schedule if you have time to allow for it. Their Tech Tuesdays are covering all different information regarding your command and your DocuSign. So that way you guys are prepared to succeed and know all the things you need to know on the tech side of things. The Tech Tuesdays will be offered in person and through Zoom. So if you need that Zoom link, you can pull it from the calendar. If you plan on coming in person, you can just come on in. Below here, we do come across our BIC and our BIC associate, Ms. Tasha Viney and Saber Romeo. So Saber Romeo is actually our BIC here. Unfortunately, she's just not in the office very often, but Tasha is also a BIC associate, basically Saber's right hand. She's more than happy to assist you guys, and she does have an office space here and is in 3 days a week. So she makes it pretty easy to just stop by and connect with her if you need to. But obviously, like I mentioned earlier, you guys should be contacting her in regards to your business card. So her email address is included there. If you miss her contact information for any reason, you guys can always reach out to me. I'll make sure that you have that in hand so that you can connect with her for your business cards. And just below that, you're going to see that there's a series of charts that are posted here. And what this is obviously we're not anywhere close to June, but if you are renewing your license for North or South Carolina moving forward, and it's your first time especially ever trying to do that, it's important to make sure that you guys know what's expected of you so that you can actually get that renewal to go through. So these charts that are posted here are really just to help you guys understand what the requirements are for your particular license, and or how to log in to the Real Estate Commission site to make sure you've got the credits that you need for everything to renew. Underneath, you will see a wonderful little slideshow of all of our agents actually on that Agent Leadership Council. And each of these agents are top producers in our market center, and they have actually vowed to give us a little bit more of their time voluntarily to represent different committees here at Ballantine so that they can ensure that it's always the place you want to call home. So you'll notice that each of their committees is listed above their names there. We have Growth Committee, which focuses entirely on helping you guys to build your passive income through profit share. So if you guys are interested in building that downline and getting people to name you as a sponsor so that you can get what we joke and call mailbox money, where it's just free money, guys. It comes to you. You don't have to do anything. It's great. If you want to know about how to have conversations that can help you to build your downline, Growth Committee is a great place to start. We also have the Social Committee and KW Cares Committee. They are here to help us plan our fun events, everyone's favorite committee usually because they're planning the parties. So great one to get to know as well. And then we also have career development, which is focused entirely on the trainings that we bring into this office to make sure that we're always bringing something new and of value. So connect with these agents. They also independently with just their committees will meet once a month, usually that first Tuesday of the month. So if you guys are ever interested in what their conversations are just as one committee, you're welcome to go in and listen to those conversations, be part of that meeting. And then also if you feel really passionate about the topic, want to provide some feedback or maybe even volunteer some of your time to help the committee, you are more than welcome to do that. These are some great agents to get to know. And then towards the bottom here, you're going to come across our wonderful productivity coaches. Our productivity coaches make up one of the two pillars of mentorship here at KW Ballantine. So typically speaking, brand new agents or agents with about under 4 transactions usually, you guys will get auto enrolled into our coaching program. And why we do that is actually just to make sure that you guys are able to maximize in that first year of your real estate career. We want to make sure that you guys are set up for success. So your productivity coach is here. They are going to meet every single week with their intimate groups of other fellow agents, excuse me. So when you guys are meeting in those weekly meetings, they're going over mindset, they are going over lead generation tactics, script practice. They're helping to make sure that your business is set up to succeed. They're also going to want to get to know you on a personal level. They want to know about your goals. They want to make sure that they are holding you accountable to those goals. And they're really here to be your biggest cheerleader. So keep your coach in mind. They are here to kind of show you the how of being a realtor. And so plug in with them every week that you can. There's amazing value that comes out of that program. To get assigned to your coach, all that will look like is actually Lynn Davis will send you an email to your Keller Williams email address. She's going to outline all of the meeting times that are available for each of these coaches every single week. And you can then select which works best for your schedule on a consistent basis, and we'll get you connected with that coach. Underneath, we also have our second pillar of mentorship, which is our transaction group partners. Our transaction group partners are our contracts and forms experts. So they are here to make sure that, again, meeting every single week, they're here to help you guys understand the content of the contracts and forms that you'll be utilizing. Biggest thing is obviously with the NAR settlement, there have been some recent changes. So even if you have some familiarity with some of those documents, it could be helpful to plug into those meetings because they will make sure that you are aware of all the changes changes and conveying that content to your clients appropriately. So they want to make sure that you guys have as little hesitation as possible going into that first deal before it's even muscle memory. So they want to make sure that you know how to fill out those forms. One less thing on your plate so that you can be the leading real estate expert for your clients to best serve them. So similarly to how Lynn is going to email you for coaches, I'm going to email you for your transaction partner. So I'm going to reach out and highlight all of those available meeting times and ask you what works best for your schedule. And you can then tell me so we can get you connected with your transaction group partner. Again, contracts and forms experts and a great resource to have. So for those of you, again, if you've not seen these emails, I would check your KW email and see if those are waiting for you there, because I can almost assure you that they are. And at the bottom, there's access to some of those helpful resources and frequently used sites. But there's much easier ways to get to that at the top. So I'm just going to take us right back up to the top here. So the next tab we're going to look at very quickly is the FAQ tab. Our FAQ tab here is actually going to show you some frequently asked questions. Really what this is to give you a better idea of who does what on our leadership team. So if you have a question and you're not sure who to ask, this is just suggesting some different questions. Pretty much anything financial, as you'll see by your question on your agent bill, referral commissions, or commission requests, that's going to be Lynn Davis. We obviously have a compliance coordinator, so if you need to reach out to her about anything in your KW opportunity through command, she will help you out. If you guys have questions about DocuSign, that's Jules and Leah, and so on and so on. All you need to do is hover your mouse over that tile. It will highlight who on leadership handles that responsibility and then tell you their email so you guys can connect with them very easily. The next tab we're going to look at is this on-demand training tab. When I click on this one, you're going to see right away that this is a password protected tab. So the password for this tab is a capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. That's it. So if you guys know the Wi-Fi password, it is very similar to the Wi-Fi password. There's just no exclamation point. I'll repeat it again though on the next tab, because the next tab also will be password protected. So if you missed it, or if you want to make sure you got it right, we're going to come back to it in a minute here. But under this on-demand training tab, on the left-hand side, if you select the on-demand option, this is going to allow you guys to see our KW Valentine YouTube channel. So this is going to be helpful for any of us who may have, again, more complex schedules, or maybe we just truly weren't feeling well, so we ended up missing a training event and we were dying to hear what was going to happen in that meeting. You'll be able to see, because I'm going to full disclosure, this is not every training that we offer. So everything on our office calendar is not on this YouTube channel. What you can see at the bottom here under created playlists is we have them all created and housed in individual playlists based off of what kind of meeting it is. So if it is not a marketing mastermind, a tech Tuesday, a team meeting, and so on, it does not exist on this page. So just know that these playlists are trying to help you to see what comes and goes from this sheet here. But really what this is anything of those recurring meetings that was Zoom recorded, we are able to upload those recordings 9 times out of 10 to our YouTube channel, so that if you guys ever miss that information, ideally you can come back and get it at a later date. Really big thing though, again, not to inconvenience anybody, but biggest thing I always recommend is try your hardest to be present either in person or online for as many trainings that interest you for live participation as you can. And the reason for that is, again, not to inconvenience you guys. It's just to give you more opportunity to ask good questions and get answers and clarity around anything as you guys are in that room. Obviously, by watching a recording, you guys can have questions that you may never get to get answered. So while this is a helpful tool in the event that you miss something, I would recommend, as much as you can avoid it, don't become solely reliant on this. Try your best to plug in live, because there's lots of value offered. The only other thing I tend to mention, I am the one who updates this YouTube channel. So if you guys are ever noticing a particular video you're looking for is not posted here, you're welcome to shoot me a quick email and inquire about that. If I have access to that recording and YouTube just algorithmically did not like the recording, I can still send it to you guys. I just couldn't necessarily publish it here. Or you can inquire, and if I don't have access to that recording, I'll just let you know that unfortunately it was not offered as a recorded event. So just to make sure that you guys, again, are getting the most out of all of the training that's offered here. But I'll close out, because very similar to our YouTube channel, Scott Lowry Marketing, as you already know, has their own YouTube channel as well. If you hit the right hand on demand button, it's taking you to their YouTube channel. So just to reiterate, guys, I know I showed this to you already when we met together, but this is going to have all of Scott Leroy Marketing's wonderful tech videos. Again, it's something I would encourage you guys to use as a supplement to your tech training, but not something you necessarily are solely reliant upon, just because we, again, want you to have the opportunity to get your questions answered. But know that they do have a wonderful diversity of what they're talking about as a topic, as a platform that they're working on. And they're also really great because they've got short little videos that are 10 minutes or less to full length trainings that they're uploading as well. And you can see all of theirs organized by playlist as well in here. So note that this is a tool for you to use in addition to our YouTube channel, in addition to the tech trainings that are offered live in this office. This is a great tool and resource for you. Underneath here, you will come across again that really important video that Leah had posted on the front page. So you've already seen this. This is reminding you how to do your commission request in Command. And then there's just some more information here on Ignite, but all of you will have received an email about Ignite as well. So don't worry about that information there unless you'd like to review it in your own time. The next tab here, without clicking on it, we are just going to hover our mouse because some of the items in this drop-down menu, I just feel are a lot easier to access this way. But when we have our office resources drop-down menu showing, you guys can see some of the opportunities within this tab. So the first is our advertising guidelines. Our advertising guidelines is a very helpful tool because it will review a lot of the marketing information that you guys need. So you know what, again, you legally cannot have on something versus what you legally need to have on something to appropriately market your business and to make sure you're representing the firm correctly as well. Excuse me. So with the advertising guidelines, obviously provisional brokers, you guys are going back to Tasha and getting that approval in order to move forward. But for our broker status agents especially, obviously with that little bit more freedom, it still might be helpful to have some kind of parameter to what you can and can't do. So reference the advertising guidelines. There's tons of great information already in there for you. And then in the event that you have questions or what you were looking for is not included in that, always reach back out to Tasha so she can assist you further. But beneath that, you guys will see concession request. So this is going to be relevant for as you guys have transactions. Should you ever need to request a concession letter, it's very simple. You click that concession request option, and it will take you to a Google form, and it will allow you guys to answer a series of questions and submit that to Tasha. As soon as Tasha receives that notification, she can begin drafting that concession letter so that she can get it back to you as quickly as possible. And the reason that we've done that is because initially, which you would get the request via email from an agent, you guys may have only answered 2 out of 10 questions that she needed the information on without even realizing you missed something. And then she'd have to go back, ask you a bunch of more questions, maybe get the right answers in return. And then it was just this back and forth that really dragged out that process. So in order so that she can get that information to you as quickly as possible, that Google form is the best route for when you're requesting a concession letter. And for those of you who don't know, that's for really any transactions that are not quite by the book, and maybe you need to ask for something a little special with that deal. So that's where you guys can find the concession request. Underneath there is the do not call list. And that one, I will say almost 9 times out of 10, everyone knows what that is at the very least. And that's an important one to be aware of, especially for us who plan to do cold calling. There are people who have asked not to be called, and they actually have put themselves on this wonderful list. And because they are on this list, if you guys accidentally call them, you can be subject to thousands of dollars in fines, and then you guys also can be subject to court time. So that's really not my idea of a great time. So I would encourage you guys to be aware of who's on that list, and it starts with just clicking on that drop down menu item and then going through the step-by-step instructions that will appear on how you guys can register for that do not call list so you have access to the information you need to ensure you don't call that wrong person. So please use the do not call list when you have an opportunity to do so, and then there should be step-by-step information on how to go through that process. Just now, we will actually click into this tab here under Office Resources. So I'm just going to click on that for us. And you'll see, like I said, password protected. So make sure that if you don't already have the password, we're writing it down now. And if you do already have the password, we're verifying we got it right. So it's going to be a capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. And that's it. capital B, lowercase a, m, c, 350. And then we're going to enter in here. So now that we're inside of our Office Resources tab on the left-hand side under General Forms, if you select the Get Forms option, guys, this is actually going to take you to an incredible Google Drive folder that is going to house a lot of the different forms that you guys will be responsible for handling in part of your transactions. So first and foremost, I'm going to tell you guys, so the left-hand option there was for North Carolina forms. If you guys are South Carolina licensed or become South Carolina licensed, the right-hand button is what you would like to select for South Carolina forms. But now that we're in the Google Drive folder, I'm going to mention to you, this is not every contract and form you're working with. So all the state contracts and forms, they don't exist in here. These are going to be documents that are specific more so to us as your firm than anything else. So you'll be able to see everything's titled appropriately, so it makes it pretty easy. But we have working with real estate agent disclosures. We have addendums in here. We have disclosures about title companies we partner with. We also have information on coming soon no-show. We've got lot disclosures, referral agreements, your W-9 is in here, septic and sewer is in here. So lots of different documents that are more specific to us or what we look for when you guys are doing different transactions than there are in total. Because when you guys do have access to the contracts and forms for the state, it's usually through your DocuSign. So I always say you can access the state contracts and forms through your DocuSign, or you can access them through Matrix zip forms, which is something you through Canopy MLS. So you can access that information through DocuSign or Matrix zip forms. So if you are in DocuSign or Matrix and you're looking and you see all these wonderful contracts and documents and you realize you're missing certain things, I would recommend come back to this Google Drive folder and cross-reference, see what you're missing, because between the two, you should have everything you need. And then vice versa, if you guys start in this Google Drive folder and you realize that you don't have everything you need, you should then be able to cross-reference with your DocuSign or your Matrix zip forms to make sure you've got everything. So neither resource will probably have everything, but both will have everything. So make sure you're looking and doing both. But again, tons of great information included here. And all we did to access it was clicked on that left-hand Get Forms option to get to that Google Drive folder. In the middle here under Get Checklist, if you guys are to select that, this is going to open up to another Google Drive folder. But even better, this is actually checklists that Sabra has created for you guys that walk you through what you're responsible for in any given deal, whether you're North or South licensed, or whether it's a buy or sale side. She has crafted these to help you guys out because, again, we know that it is not muscle memory for you guys, especially as first-time agents. This is going to be something that may help you to feel confident and comfortable going through that first deal to make sure you've got all your ducks in a row, you've met every time deadline. So it's something to absolutely keep in your back pocket as a tool if you think it would be helpful to you. This is not something you're required to use, but it is very helpful to get an overview of what your responsibilities are and then when you have to complete them by. So know that she's included, again, checklists that she's created herself for all of these transactions. Obviously, again, she's very good about updating this information. So as new information comes out and we need to make changes, those changes are being added to these checklists as well. So know that if there is anything that's mildly outdated, it's because she's working on it right now, I promise, especially with all the NAR changes. But these are going to be wonderful checklists to utilize, and all you have to do is hit that Get Checklist button in the middle of our Office Resources tab. Underneath here, you will come across information regarding CE Shop. That is one of the two real estate education sources that we partner with as an office. Under Find Classes, this is going to take you to CE Shop's website. And so on CE Shop, I'm going to mention just a couple things here. Through our partnership, we have fluctuating discounts that are always available. So if you guys are looking to either get your post licensing done, your continuing education done, or maybe you just want to share the wealth and you'd like to give this discount code to someone else, for their pre-licensing, you absolutely can do that as well. But you'll be able to see whatever that discount is and what it does to the packages offered right then in front of you. The other great news is they do a lot of flash 1-day savings. So when they do that, actually, I'm notified via email about that. So I post what that discount code is to our private Facebook group at 8 a.m. the day it goes live. That way, you guys have all day to take advantage of that information if you so choose. The other conversation I usually mention is that just keep in the back of your mind that CE Shop is going to be self-paced. It's all online. So if you are better suited for a live training, whether it is in person or through Zoom, may not be the best fit. So just know that that is what you're looking at. If you guys are not quite sure if self-paced would be the best fit for you, but you're interested to know more about it, you guys actually have a really unique opportunity to do a free trial through the CE Shop where you can actually check it out for 1 week before you commit. So if you walk away hating it and you think that that was a terrible experience, you don't have to have any payment down at all. The score will not impact you moving forward. It's a really unique tool. If you loved it, you can immediately plug in your credit card information and then continue on with the course. So it's a cool experience for those of us who've contemplated self-paced but just don't know if it would be the greatest fit for us. And then the other thing I mentioned while we're looking at their site, you have to forgive me because this used to be a tab at the top and now it's all the way at the bottom in the smallest print I've ever seen. But underneath Agent Essentials, if you can squint hard enough to see it, you will see Hot Topics underneath here at the very bottom. So if you click on Hot Topics, we are on the CE Shop. If you click Find Classes, Donna, if you click find classes. No, you're fine. You're fine. I can tell that you were looking for it. No, you're okay. And I knew you were. You're okay. I just felt bad because I was like, I think you're looking for it. And I wanted to point it out. Hit find classes right there on the right. Find classes on the right. Yep. There you go. No, you're fine. You're totally fine. I just felt horrible because I was like, oh, she's not going to find it there. I was like, I should at least tell her where we are. So I was like, that would be helpful. So underneath at the very bottom here, hot topics. We click on that. It's actually going to take you to a really cool library and it's blogs, ebooks, podcasts, videos, tons of really cool content, all related to real estate. And I show this to you for two reasons. One is obviously you guys can benefit from this information yourselves. It can make you, again, just a little bit more of that leading expert in the industry. Also, I like to point this out because of social media marketing. So social media marketing, for those of us who plan on implementing that in our business strategy, social media marketing is very, I would say, specific. I think it's a little more tedious and not because it's impossible, but because algorithms are the way they are and you kind of have to learn how to play the game. The biggest thing that I have learned, again, not being an agent and not having much experience in the marketing side of things, the biggest thing I have learned personally is that when you plan on doing social media marketing for your business, there's two things that are super important. The first is that you are posting almost every single day. You're posting regularly and you're staying in front of people. The second is that you want to make sure that your content is diverse. It is covering different things. It looks different than it did the day before, so that it's not the same redundancy because you will eventually kind of fall off the face of the earth in terms of other people's feeds. They won't see that stuff if it's just the same old, same old. So those are the two biggest things you want to do. You want to post regularly and you want to post different things. It's hard to come up with creative content every single day though. So in an effort to give you guys a easy button you are welcome to hit anytime, this is something you could literally copy and paste the link to and post to your social media. So if you need that easy button because it's just a cloudy regular Thursday morning, what am I going to post? You guys can post this information just to keep in front of people, and that way you can go about the rest of your day knowing that you did post something. And it can help to direct new traffic to your page that may have never been there before as well. So just keep that in mind. It is a tool for you to use personally and also to use when marketing your business. So I will take us back now to the CE Shop portion of our page. Underneath here is a Valentine floor plan. I am 99% sure that we turned that button off because we actually have the old floor plan still showing. So don't look at that. It's not what our floor looks like. And then underneath here, we also have numbers to know. So these are going to be numbers that, again, you may be asked for infrequently, and ones that just don't necessarily stay in front of you often enough for you to have them memorized. So for those of us who do go on to get our South Carolina license, and we are so excited, we're filling out that application, but we don't have the firm license number for South Carolina. Numbers like that exist right here for your reference. Obviously, our market center numbers included here at the bottom left. We've also included our federal tax ID for those referrals that we may be receiving. So just keep this information in mind. We do have several of those numbers hidden towards the bottom of our office resources page. Obviously, though, in 6 months from now, if you guys need one of these numbers and you have no idea how to get back to it, just shoot me an email. I'm happy to point you in the right direction. But there's tons of great information that's shared here for you. And now we're going to jump over just to prove really quickly my point. Office Calendar does all the work for you. It'll drag you right to where you want to go. Under tech resources here, we actually have covered a lot of this information. So we're just going to hover really quickly, make sure I didn't miss anything. But actually, Leah is currently working on developing this tab a little bit further so it can be an even more involved and valuable landing page for you. So know that there's tons of tech resources all centralized in one drop-down menu. But underneath the More tab here, I do want to point out just a few things. The ALC meeting minutes are posted. So if when all of our ALC gets together in this room and talks about big decisions that they're making for the firm before we move forward into the next month, like maybe one day, not that this is ever likely to happen anytime soon, just pointing that out, but it has happened in the past when we're talking about changing our caps and reducing them or increasing them. That's conversations that we bring to our agent leadership council because we want your voices as agents to be heard in that conversation. So if you guys are wondering what big decisions may or may not have been made during the last meeting because you missed it, our ALC meeting minutes are posted to a Google Drive folder, so you guys can always go back and reference them, and then kind of get a little bit more insight into what was discussed. Underneath that is our prayer request form, which for us is more of a talking point than anything. And really, it's to reiterate that we very sincerely consider you to be members of our family from the moment you walk through the door. And especially once you've signed your paperwork and you are officially involved with the firm and affiliated and everything. You guys are our family. So we very seriously care for you and want to know what's going on in your world. If there's ever anything going on that you need to talk about with us, we are happy to be a listening ear. We are happy to be a shoulder to cry on and a hug in the hall. Just tell us how we can help you and best support you. But please keep us in mind. It's always easier to go through things when you've got some company and support. So let us know if there's ever anything we can do to support you. But underneath that is KW Perks. So KW Perks is in regards to insurance. So if you guys are ready to officially look and explore insurance plans because you're an independent contractor now, you guys can absolutely go through KW Perks. I think they just changed the partnership. It was Capstone Financial for a little bit there. I think they switched it. But we are currently, maybe it's Kaplan now, but either way, we are partnered with an insurer so that we can offer through Marketplace, you guys can explore a bunch of different insurance plans that may work for you just by plugging in a little bit of your information. And this allows you to explore what those plans are, see what the rate would be for you as well. So it just makes it a little bit easier to know if it's a good fit for you and your families. Obviously, you only have to look at that if you need insurance, but you're welcome to still explore it even if you do have insurance, just to see if there's something better out there. But obviously, if that's a concern in your world, do not be uninsured, guys. It is always, it seems really crappy to have to pay for it every month, never to use it, but I promise you it's worth it the moment you need it. Underneath though, like I said, we have scheduling the conference room. So that takes you directly to that spreadsheet so you guys can do that. The KWB firm exclusive listings, I'm going to be honest, there's been several updates to command. So I don't know that this is actually even the most relevant tool at this point, because I think a lot of it is designed to now be included in command for you. But do know that if ever there is a listing that's taken by an agent in this office and they only want to offer it to other agents in this office, they will make it a firm exclusive listing so it stays in-house. In which case, when paperwork is submitted regarding that property, Sabra will update this firm exclusive listings Google Sheet, which is a live document, so you guys can always see. So that way, if you guys are searching MLS trying to find a property, for your buyers and you're really coming up dry, there's just nothing that you can find that meets their criteria, it absolutely could be worthwhile to explore the firm exclusive listings just to see if there's something that better fits their criteria in that spreadsheet. And then it gives you enough information and the listing agent's info that you can then contact the listing agent to talk to them more about it. But know that that's a tool. Again, it may become obsolete as Command starts to implement further changes. So I don't know how much you'll be reliant upon it, but it is here if you need it. Strategic vendor partners. So if you looked at me and you said, oh, shoot, Liz, I'm not a Facebook user and I did not join that Facebook group. If you just click on strategic vendor partners, guys, this will take you to a live Google Sheet as well. And this actually documents who all of our vendor partners are. So they're all right here in one spreadsheet, organized by their industry. You can see what company everyone is with. You can then see our point of contact directly with that particular company. You can also see their contact information, and then you can also see anything more about their services. If they've got a website, it's explored there as well. So it just gives you, again, a really great opportunity to get connected with some wonderful vendors. And the reason too is obviously we know there's the rule of three, right? We want to make sure we're presenting 3 different options for your clients. So if you guys are coming up dry, again, we just don't know that many people in the area. Maybe you're new, or maybe you just haven't had to work with so many crawl space technicians. So in that case, we want to make sure, of course, you guys still have plenty to offer your clients. So you guys can always call upon these wonderful individuals. They would be happy to help you. The other thing I will point out as well is you'll see for electrician, as an example, there's only one gentleman currently listed here. That's not to say we hate electricians. What that really means is that this is the only electrician that's been vetted by another agent and recommended for our program that decided to join the program. Really what it means is we are still looking for more electricians. So if you guys know somebody, a family friend, somebody you worked with before, maybe your electrician, if you guys have somebody specific you know and love and think do a wonderful job, please refer them. We are always looking to make sure that our program is as developed and amazing as it can be to ensure that you guys have, again, just increased value as our agents. So if there's someone you know and love, it's very easy to recommend them and refer them to our program. All you have to do is connect them via email with Angela Bueno, who oversees our vendor program. And Angela has business cards right at the front desk. So on your way in or out, you can snag one of those cards, put them together in an email, and Angela will do all the legwork for you and explain all the ins and outs of the program so they can decide if it's worthwhile for them to join. But it is a win-win. At least that's how it's designed. There's tons of opportunities for them to get connected with 550 agents right off the bat. So please keep that in mind, guys. We would love to hear if there's ever anybody that stands out in your world. And just coming back to that More tab drop down menu, we also have access to Outfront Magazine, which I'm just letting you know is very similar to that Hot Topics section we just looked at the CE shop. So if you guys are, again, trying to find that easy button for social media, Outfront Magazine actually publishes a calendar, just like we actually kind of are seeing here on the screen, and they actually give you a suggestion for a post every single day. So at the start of every month, they send this out so you guys have an idea of something to post every single day. Because in real estate, you're going to hear the terms rip off and duplicate a lot. And that's actually not a bad thing. It sounds like plagiarism, but it's not, apparently, in real estate. It's good because the idea is you shouldn't have to reinvent the wheel. Especially in this office, we're so collaborative that if you see somebody else excelling at something or they're having a lot of luck, you can literally ask them and say, hey, can I just ask, like, what are you doing that stands out? Or would you mind if I looked over your listing presentation? I know you are a really listing heavy team. I think you guys do amazing things. I would just be happy to look over that document. And I will say 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes. They're going to allow you guys access to that information because if there's anything they can do so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, you can just make some minor tweaks here and there to where you'd like it to be unique to your business. You absolutely can. So Outfront Magazine is intended with that purpose. And then underneath that is discount codes for real estate education. If we click on it, it will take us to a separate little tab here in our site. The CE shop, obviously, this is how you can access that site as well, which we already looked at. But do know that our second partnership for real estate education is with Superior. And through Superior, we have a long-standing 30% off discount. So you can you can either take advantage again yourselves with that live training and get 30% off of your post licensing or your continuing education. Or if you want to, again, spread the love and give that to somebody else, you guys can allow them to get 30% off on their pre-licensing. And the great news is with this, there's absolutely no obligation for this agent that you may be sharing the information with to join KW Valentine. So if you literally just want to make their day, you absolutely can use this as a tool to do that. But again, that's all the way here at the bottom of the More tab, discount codes for real estate education. Makes it really easy. If you click this Facebook icon, it's going to take you directly to that main Facebook page with our leadership team and our agents. So it makes it one step easier to connect there. You guys also should have that link sent to you via email from me. And then on the right-hand side under I need tech help, we have looked at this before when we met together, but by clicking on that button, it allows you to schedule your 30-minute appointment for free with Jules and Leah as a one-on-one. So if you guys are attending their classes, but you have some more specific focuses you want to discuss, maybe you guys actually do want to take them up on the concierge marketing services where you can say, can I just pay you to do this for me so that I don't have to? Or if you, again, just want to get to know the ins and outs of your tech so that you can implement something specific for your business, 30-minute appointments with Jules and Leah are super, super helpful. All you have to do is click on the available blue dot. You'll be able to see what meeting slots are still available that day. You can specifically select based off of your schedule, and it will drop directly on their calendar after you filled out these fields. You just have to tell them who you are. Are you meeting in person or through Zoom? And then also ask them or tell them what you would like to discuss in that meeting so that they can prepare accordingly. So that really is the last thing I tend to share with you guys. Excuse me. I tend to share with you guys on this website because I do want you guys to take advantage of this tool amongst all the other wonderful resources we've discussed thus far. So I'm going to take us back to our homepage real quick. Typically, like I said, I would allow you guys to stick with me for like 5 extra minutes for those who could, just so that I could show you one additional thing. Unfortunately, I'm running a little bit low on time. As you can tell, we've already gone a little bit over. So in an effort to respect your time, guys, I do want to let you obviously go for the day and hang out with us if you'd like. We actually have a really unique opportunity with a wonderful, wonderful coach. He's going to do a Zoom call just for our agents. I'm going to actually have the Zoom call up and running in the training room. If anyone wants to stick around, it's going to be a really cool conversation. Tony DeCello has actually led over 30,000 coaching calls, so it's a pretty reputable guy. So for those of you who'd like to stick around, I would love to have you join us. And I will have that up and running here in just a moment. But just in an effort to save some time so that I can do that and let you guys and be respectful of your time, I do want to let you go. Everything else I was planning on showing you, which is all of like 2 to 3 minutes, I am just going to send to you guys in an email to make it really, really easy. I'm going to screen share and I'm going to do audio as well with that video so you guys have all the information you need. And I'm going to make sure it gets out to you guys today so that if you would like to utilize this additional tool, you absolutely can. But that is about everything I have for you. So I really do appreciate you joining me this morning, especially I'll note this is not like trying to be biased, but especially those of you who drove to the office. I know that that was extra step, so thank you. And thank you for hanging out with us. Ladies, thank you for being online. And the other thing I'm just going to mention as a heads up, tomorrow when you guys are here for Ignite launch, you'll be received several handouts. One of the handouts is going to be your graduation checklist. One of the classes on the graduation checklist is this one that you just attended. So because you don't already have that handout, the next time you see me or come by my office with that handout, I will sign it to say that you went to this training. So let me know if I can ever do that for you. I'm happy to sign because I know who was here. And I'm just going to make sure I didn't lose anybody online. Gosh, why can I not click on buttons? Okay, Sydney and Emma, I'm going to make sure you get the email as well from me this afternoon. But any other questions before we officially go that maybe we didn't get to ask just yet? I feel like that's a good sign. Obviously, this was a lot of information. I know that. So my biggest recommendation, kind of as Donna actually was doing with us today, is just go back through the website at your convenience and try to just see if you can follow the pace of what we did today. Walk back through, starting with the homepage, move your way all the way to the right, and just see if you can keep tabs on what we looked at and explore it a little further if you'd like. But that's usually the best way just to kind of commit it to muscle memory. And that way, hopefully, it stays with you longer. But obviously, if you guys have questions, please reach out. I'm more than happy to go back over this info with you. The other thing I'm going to mention as well is a recording of this class will be posted to that YouTube channel we looked at. So you guys can always come back, rewatch it. And if I did talk too fast and you're too like shy and kind to say anything, you can slow it down in YouTube, which is always helpful. But now you guys are officially dismissed. I do appreciate your time. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend if I don't see you again, but ideally I will see everybody here tomorrow for Ignite. So thank you.